Okay, so let's break down some barriers here. Do you need PEDs within bodybuilding? So this is the topic that everybody wants to know, but nobody wants to talk about. First of all, what I'd like to say is I am not condoning PEDs in any shape or form. I am just here to help educate you so you can make informed decisions within your own journey. Now, as an athlete, this is also your responsibility to understand PEDs if this is the route that you want to explore. It is also your coach's responsibility to be educated on this. But at the end of the day, it's your body and it is your rules and it's also your responsibility. So, first of all, what I would like to say is when it comes to PEDs, there is absolutely no safe route. They all come with their own risks. And if PEDs are something that you want to explore, you do have to understand the risks that come along with this, okay? So, first of all, what are PEDs? PEDs are performance enhancing drugs, and these actually came from the medical industry, and these were utilized for medical issues such as cancer research and burn victims. But somehow they've made their way into bodybuilding, and within bodybuilding, they're usually used for three different reasons: for cosmetic reasons, for health reasons, and also for performance. So, forms of PEDs. So, PEDs can usually be split into two subsections. We have androgenics and we have non-androgenics. And how do we define between the both of these? So androgenics tend to be used for cosmetic reasons. And these drive muscle protein synthesis to the androgenic receptor. Now, this is compounds such as Primo, which is also called primobolan. You've got VAR, which is also called Anavar. And you've got things like Femtest, which is essentially HRT. But we also have non-androgenics, which mainly drive health mitigation. So we have things such as clenbuterol, which is used for fat loss. We have T3 and T4, which is a thyroid support. We also have growth hormone and we have ancillaries as well, such as metformin. So all of these can be used within the bodybuilding industry. What I would like to say is androgenics do come with the highest risk and non-androgenics come with a lesser risk, but both still hold risks within both categories. So what are these risks? First of all, what you have to remember is femininity, sustainability, and longevity are super, super important within bodybuilding. And if you want to explore PEDs, then you have to understand the risks that are involved. So when it comes to androgenics, you really, really need to be savvy with the total duration of exposure to these PEDs and the total volume of exposure to these PEDs. Now, if this is not managed within a timeline and within a structure and a controlled setting, you may potentially, and I say may, you will, run into side effects. Now, these side effects are not great, and these can cause things such as unwanted hair growth, Adam's apple, deepening of the voice, being a little bit swollen down there. And if you push PEDs and ignore these side effects, it can come to a point where these side effects are actually irreversible. Now, non-androgenics also come with their own risks. Remember, non-androgenics are still an exogenous hormone that you are pumping into your body. If you are going way above and beyond your baseline into super physiological range, this will have a dysregulation on your own production. So if you are hammering the T3, hammering the T4 and thinking, oh, but I want to get as lean as I possibly can, what happens when you decide that you're coming off this after your show? Your hormones are down the toilet, your hormones cannot regulate again, and you will potentially only be a one-hit wonder on the stage because you cannot go back to bodybuilding because your thyroid function will never allow you to do so. So it's so, so important to understand this duration that you're on this and the volume that you're on as well. So, are PEDs necessary? In my opinion, no, they are not. First of all, we need to be open and to be honest within the bodybuilding industry, and do not be naive. PEDs do happen, especially within the bikini categories. Now, it's not the same as it used to be in 2018. We are more heavily muscled now. We do have better physiques than what we did back in the day. So it is not uncommon for PEDs to not be explored. But again, if you do want to explore these, you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. First of all, what I would say is you have to be nailing the basic fundamentals of bodybuilding. You need to be doing this for years, training like an absolute champ, eating your foods, hitting the correct supplementation, and nail these basic fundamentals before you even consider PEDs, because you genuinely cannot mask a body composition with PEDs. Second of all, your desire to want to explore PEDs is going to be highly influenced by your end goal. So what is your end goal? Is it to do a one show, or is it to go all the way, get your pro card and have that goal of being on the Olympia stage? Now, these are very, very different goals, and these require very, very different routes. If you are a first timer and you only want to experience a show day, in my opinion and in my advice, PEDs are unnecessary. If you are aiming for your pro card and you want to go to the Olympia, you will be far more influenced to want to explore PEDs. However, if this is the route that you do want to go down, just please make sure that you approach this with caution. Lastly, let's take your health markers into consideration. If you're not willing to get your bloods done, you should not even be considering taking PEDs. Now, you really need to understand what's happening under the hood with your thyroid function, with your hormone panel. Get these bloods done by a GP or a private company, because if you do not understand what's happening under the hood and you're pumping exogenous hormones into your body, that is a recipe for a longer term disaster. Okay, so if you do decide that PEDs are a route that you want to explore, please make sure that you approach with caution, and please make sure that you are working with a coach who knows their shit inside out. Also, please take into consideration the duration of the exposure that you will be on under PEDs. So, for example, let's say you are taking an androgenic 6 weeks out from your first show, and then you get invited to the British, which is maybe another 6 weeks down the line. This has to be taken into consideration in your timeline. Your coach will be able to advise you on this, but you have to understand that this duration of exposure can come with these risks of viralization. Please remember, you need to have a plan, and you need to have a timeline, and you need to have an exit plan too.